Back with us on the SportsMax Zone. We continue to pick over the Windies' meek surrender to South Africa in the two-test series for the Sir Viv Richards Trophy. On Monday, the tourists won the second and the final test by 158 runs at the Darren Sammy Ground in St. Lucia with more than a day to spare. The Windies failed to pass 200 in any of their 4 innings, and all of the batsmen had a torrid time in the middle. Only 2 West Indians scored half-centuries, Roston Chase and Kieran Powell, both of them finishing 1 and 2. Well, both men finishing 1 and 2 in the batting averages for the Windies. And it was really a sorry story all round. The South Africans, remember, batted for 3 innings and outscored the West Indies batsmen comfortably. Chase and Powell only played 3 innings, but of course, the majority of the Windies' leading batsmen played 4 innings, including the captain, Craig Brathwaite, whose returns were so meager as to not make the list. There he is down on the second page, 28 runs from his 4 innings and a high score of 15, and he only placed 76 balls in 4 innings, Craig Brathwaite. Only 76 balls the captain bothered himself with, and the strike rate and the average are there for you to see. Well, the veteran commentator Joseph Reds Perreira was on a duty for the 2 tests, and he joins us now. Good afternoon, Reds. Hope everything is well with you. Glad to have you on the show once again.
Yes, I had a day off, and that allowed me to watch Euro. And happy to be on, and thanks for inviting me.
Excellent. Reds, let's get right to it in the time that we have. I want to go down the list of the Windies batsmen. What I'll do, I'll call the name and ask you to grade that batsman's contribution in the 2-test series out of 10, with 1 being the lowest and 10 being the highest. And of course, you have the latitude to make a comment on the batsman beyond giving me a grading mark. Are you ready?
Well, I will certainly try.
There you go, sir. Good chap. All right. Roston Chase.
Probably our best player, and don't have a contract.
So you'll give him an 8, a 10, what?
Yes, I'll give him an 8, 8.5, maybe 9. You know, he showed his class.
Yeah, he played 3 innings, Reds. He had a highest score of 62, which means that in the other 2 innings, he contributed 8. But you're saying that overall, you're still giving him that 8.5 mark as the best batsman that we had on show over those 2 tests.
Yes, because the innings you referred to was in fact quite a class innings.
Yes.
You know, he really played well when we were in all sorts of trouble. And I think you have to look at that and value it in its own right. I know he didn't add much to that. I agree with you, but I think he looks like our best player.
Yeah, Kieran Powell.
Well, you know, he has done enough maybe to make the test squad test side, I should say, for the Pakistan tour. But I will say somewhere around about a 6. About a 6.
Jermaine Blackwood.
Between 6 and 7, he was disciplined. Surprised a lot of people. Really worked very hard. Took on the responsibility of being vice captain. I would say between 5 and 6.
5 and 6. All right. Shea Hope.
I would say a 6.
Kyle Mears.
Bowling excellent, batting disappointed. 4.5, 5.
All right. I'm going to skip Nkrumah Bonner for obvious reasons. Jason Holder, 4 innings, 34 runs, a highest score of 20.
Below par with the bat, I must admit. Ran out of partners in the first test. I think he was 20 not out. But George Lance bowled without luck. I mean, you know, that's easy to say, but if you were there, I mean, the amount of times he beat the South African top order and just couldn't get a nick outside the off stump, close to the off stump, inside edge, missed leg stump. But after all of that, I will say maybe a 5, 6.
And you're giving him the 6 because of this quality of his bowling. But if you were going to strictly the performance with the bat, you'd say about 5.
Yeah, about 5. That's right.
Craig Brathwaite.
You're really pushing me there, George.
Yes, sir.
I will say 0 for batting. 0 for batting.
Very well.
I'm not too happy with his statements to the press. I mean, defending in the first to bat first, I was surprised at that. And at the end of the game yesterday, I thought he would have really gone to say what we need to do.
Yes.
Don't say, we just played badly. What do we need to do? And I want to share some ideas with that very opening remark by Lance, where he says, we have a whole month. Now, what are we going to do in that whole month whilst the white ball series are going on? And I have some thoughts on that.
All right, we're going to let's just do one more play and we can come to those thoughts.
Yeah.
Joshua De Silva with the bat.
Very worried about Joshua De Silva. I couldn't give him more than the same as I gave to Brathwaite, and I would say average 4 or 5 with the gloves. He didn't have a happy game, and I think confidence, begins to wean after that.
Yeah. All right. Lance would like to engage you on what you'd want to see the batsmen do in that month up to Pakistan.
You haven't asked me about Shannon Gabriel.
No, well, I didn't because I'm talking about the specialist batsmen.
I understand.
Batsmen, yeah. Right. So let's use the rest of the time, Reds, to talk about the month.
Before he goes there, just quickly, you want to say something about Gabriel, it seems. So you can say that quickly.
Well, I would like to know who is the person who told Roger Harper that he was fit. And that situation with Gabriel has gone on since England, New Zealand, in Antigua against Sri Lanka, and now here. He broke down twice in a 4-day game, yet we were told that he was fit. He had a spell of 16 overs in many, many spells, and then 6 overs, 22 in all, and took 2 wickets. I ask you, gentlemen, to judge yourself whether we do not need to look beyond Gabriel. We have, once he's fit, Shamar Holder. We have Kean Harding. We got a couple of left arm over the wicket bowlers. We invested in Seals. It was a success. Maybe time to bring on people who have been around since England, gentlemen.
Well, Fazir, beg your pardon, Reds. It's interesting you raised that because in a discussion with Fazir on yesterday's show, I did rather cheekily ask him the question, given what we've seen of Gabriel, and I can't agree with you more with what your assessment has been, given what we've seen of Gabriel, clearly he is not our pace spearhead. And Fazir said, well, clearly our pace spearhead is Kemar Roach, the medium pacer at this stage of his career.
Yes, certainly. The attack has got to be built around Roach, Holder, and Seals. And if you throw in either Azari Joseph or Shamar Holder or Kean Harding, you have the making of a quartet.
Yeah.
All right, so Reds, move quickly then. First of all, what needs to be done with the batsmen between now and the Pakistan tour, which is just about a month away? First of all, is 1 month enough time?
Well, if they take advantage of the month, it's enough time. And if they get the right people with those top-order batsmen on all lands, the only person who has gone to Grenada is Jason Holder. So everybody is available. And someone like Bonner needs cricket. Whether he can get cricket in Jamaica in the next week or so, I don't know. But back to your question, we need to get a Des Haynes, a Goslogi, and a Shiv Chandrapal. Maybe the request needs to come from Jimmy Adams to work with those people in Jamaica and work over a period of 2 or 3 weeks so we can combat what we can expect from Pakistan, gentlemen, which will be more of the same that the South Africans offered and a lot more spin. other than maybe left arm spin, also back of the hand spin. If we had lost in South Africa 2-0, you say, okay, fine, we lost away. But, the Bangladesh thing was overrated. It started to show that it was so against Sri Lanka, and I think we now know exactly where we are, but we have to do something about helping our batsmen technically against the moving ball and against the short ball. And I like to go forward. I don't know how much time I have. Jimmy Adams needs to maybe call for that kind of session at Sabina Park or wherever in Jamaica that is available. And with the right personnel, I just called 3 who I think will be able to help with their experience. And I think Jimmy Adams needs to assess the coaching support that Phil Simmons got and evaluate whether they're doing the job or not, whether the batting coach should be changed, the acting batting coach should be changed, or the bowling coach should be changed. And a question mark to the physio, who obviously told Roger Harper that Gabriel was fit.
Yeah. Reds, I want to read something for you, which I felt was really an indictment on the quality of the cricket the West Indies played, and not just the quality of the cricket. Well, the quality of the cricket directly leads to the strength of the opposition that the West Indies presented. This is what the Mark Boucher, the South Africa coach, said, Reds. He said, quote, I am looking after the West Indies series, and he was talking about the significance of winning their first away series since 2017 against New Zealand. He says that, he was being cautious not to read too much in the 2 convincing wins against the West Indies. And he said, quote, listen to this, Reds. I am looking forward, Mark Boucher says, to the time where we get put under pressure and to see how we respond as a unit. That's where we can judge where we really are. Reds Perreira, this man comes to the West Indies, plays 2 tests against the West Indies, comprehensively dismantles the West Indies in those 2 tests, well inside 5 days, and then after it says he's looking forward to a time when he can really gauge where his team is, because this has not been much of a test. Is there a greater indictment on what the Windies did in those 2 tests, Reds, than this statement from Mark Boucher?
Well, he can certainly be happy with his bowling, but I think against the top 4, that batting will be asked questions. I mean, you take away the role that de Kock played, Elgar in the second innings, Van der Hoosen a little bit. The batting looks, there's a big question mark to that batting. So he can't be totally, I wouldn't say cocky, but he can't be totally saying that, because he got to look at his batting. His batting has got a couple of weak areas.
But even so, Reds, as you know so very well, the fact of the matter is that how many times you watched it from very close quarters? How many times did you see the South African skipper rubbing his head, trying to find a solution to what the West Indies were doing on the field? He was not put under that pressure. And yes, the point you make is valid, but that's the point that Boucher is making. Boucher is saying that the West Indies as a unit did not give us enough of a test to gauge whether this team that I'm leading is moving in the right direction or not. I can't tell from this series because we weren't pressured enough, is what he's saying, and the evidence shows that he's right.
Well, when you beat the opposition in 3 days, you beat the opposition in 4 days, say no more. Say no more. But I just want to come back to Lance. Lance, what's your thoughts on what I'm suggesting, that the batting structure, and we have to make a decision on De Silva. Do we continue with the promising young man? Has his confidence been shot? Do we bat Hope at 6 and allow him to keep and bring Mears at 7, like how New Zealand used Grant Home, and give him the license to play shots? But let's look at the possibility of a special batting camp in Jamaica lands.
Yeah, well, those are things to be considered, Reds, because the fact is we cannot come out of this dismal series here and not do anything at all. That's the fact of it. I was having a discussion in our office today, and I was suggesting that even Darren Bravo, who has been poor, his statistics certainly would not warrant him being recalled. But based on what we are seeing, we know what he can do. One would have to think that he has to be considered for the Pakistan series as well. But I quite frankly think, Reds, that this batting team is not very good. And I don't know that a month of work with them will solve the problems. I don't mean to be pessimistic, but that's my view.
Well, if we don't try to help them,
Yes.
there could be a criticism also.
Yes.
So at least let us do something positive to help them.
Yes.
I think if we win the white ball series, it will have a positive effect on the test squad if we do the requisite work with them also while the white ball series is going on. But not to do anything, is really, unimaginable.
Yeah.
Thank you very much, Reds. That's all the time we have. All the best. We'll talk again.
Oh, good afternoon to all.
All right. That's it. Break time here on the SportsMax Zone.